Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part three on the heating module on for the 2016-17 Camaro for my friend Paul Danner, and also for one of his friends that has a problem with the car that has a huge parasitic growth. Just to fill you in on what I'm doing here. So I'm doing more testing. I'm trying to, decipher this because this is truly no information on, you know, the way this should work, let's say, even though I did found some theory of operation, it's a little hard to understand, let's say, and make it work in here. But I think that I did have a good finding. After talking to Paul and everything, I have found, that yeah, one of the heating elements is the one is actually having the problem. Let me start the screen recording. What we have right now, okay, we got two hidden elements. The way these works, the computer will power modulate the signal on the power side and then provide a steady ground when it wants to activate the hidden elements. Again, we have two connectors. I'm only working in X1. This is X1 and this is X2 where the lean bus um, system is. We don't worry about that one. We are going only to work on this one. I have red cable going to power, that's battery feed. The yellow is ignition feed, and then a ground for the ground of the module itself. Those are the lower pins. The way that I have that right now will be 1 to 6 on the upper row, and then 8 to 10 or 7 to 10 on the bottom row. On the upper row, which is 1 to 6, the first pin is not used. 2, 3 is the hidden element on the passenger side, or hidden elements, and then 4 and 6 on the driver's side. We can see that if we go back to the wire diagram, as you will see. Let me put now the camera here because you guys are going to be looking at the module while I'm doing the test that I want to share with you this time. All right, so again, we got two heating elements, 4 and 6 for the driver's side, both heating elements, cushion and driver back. So that should be yellow cable and the green, and then for the passenger side, again, cushion and back will be the blue and the white. As you can see right now, I'm connected to the white. I'm not going to be working on the ground because the module is not active, so it should be no ground supplied to the actual um, heating elements, just a bias voltage. Um, Looking at this, right now, again, I'm connected with the green channel. Yes, you guys can see that. And I have the green channel reading 3.5 volts. If I apply a ground, reading the information on uh, this is the same pin assignment for the actual profits. These four little components in here are called profits, and this is the way they work. So we got two outputs that are shorted together. That means there will be common. We got a voltage supply on BBB. IS is just a sense current, and then the actual switching controlled by another IC, which is behind. And again, we don't care about that one yet. But the in is what activates this. When this is not active, it should supply a bias voltage of 3.3 volts. And you will say, well, where you got that information? Okay, well, I went over, did my homework, and find it. This is the heated seat operation. I want to read it. So it says the seat heating control module controls the heated seat operation for the driver and passenger seats. When active, power is applied to the seat cushion and back heater elements through a common pulse width modulated voltage supply control circuit. So it's power control. Each individual heater element is switched to ground by the module through a common low side driver control circuit, which is again on the back of this. And since it's not active, it should not provide the ground, right? It also says when active, the seat heating control module connects the heating element low side outputs to a common reference point internal. When inactive, the seated The seat heating control module connects the heating element low side outputs to a common reference point internally to the module, which is biased to approximately 3.5 volts. The module uses this bias voltage in order to check the high side and low side control circuits for short to battery or ground. If it's not 3.5 and it goes to 0, it knows it's shorted to ground. And if it goes up, it's short to power, right? Before or ground before enabling the driver and passenger seat heating elements to make sure there is it's not a short. During heated seat operation, the seat heating control module interrupts control of the heating elements every 10 seconds for approximately 10 milliseconds to make this bias voltage check. With both seat cushion and seat back heaters element disconnected. So like if I unplug the heating elements, I should be reading 12 volts, and I do on the other wire. This is again uh, the bias voltage that it should be here. And I'm going to just go a little farther than this. So with both seat cushion and seat back heater elements disconnected, if the high side output of the module is measured, it will display a low current 12 volt bleed off voltage. This bleed off voltage does not have any minimal for diagnostic purpose. With one or both of the heater elements connected, you will see the 3.5 voltage bias from the circuit. So again, now I am connected. I got power to the module and ignition. So the module is active as it is. I got power and ground, sorry, power, ground, and ignition. And I am connected on the passenger side. As you can see, this is pin number 6. So again, if we go over to pin number 6 on the wire diagram, it says the pin number 6, sorry, this is on the driver's side, power side. So on the power side, not on the ground and the ground side, is that I'm seeing, well, at least based on this drawing, which is original, right? So it tells me that this is the switching part, and based on this sign in here, this should be the ground. But if I go over to the ground, which is in pin 4, which should be the blue one, if I go to the blue one, let me just do that, like that we're all on the same page of what is happening here. I got nothing. So blue wire, pin 4 is the ground side, low side, right? It should be the 3.5. So even the drawing is wrong, and this is the actual ground side, which is receiving the bias, and this is the voltage. Because again, if I unplug the ignition, and I'm going to do that right now, and I see that same wire, well, I don't have the cushion connected. But yeah, this one is staying low, which is good, right? If I do the same check, so I know that I'm going around a little bit, but I want to show you that these, for me, this side, the 4 and 6 is good, but this one, if I measure it now, I got 12 volts. See what I mean? 12 volts in here. That is pin number 2. So if I go over to pin number 2, that is the control side, power side. So it's 12 volts. If I go over to the ground side of that one, which is on the green, my green here, right? So we are now going into the 3. We got nothing. So comparing one to the other, right? So we're doing the same thing. So pin number 3. So pin number 3 is the ground side, right? Yes. So pin number 3 doesn't have anything. If I go over to pin 2, which is the power control side, I have right now battery voltage. That is the power side. Let me go over to my oscilloscope. So this is power side pin 2. Can I open this both? Yeah, let me put so I can. kind of like read this, have to be back and forth. Sorry, I'm doing this in here. It's because let me go over to like 150. Not what I want to do. I just want to be able to read. Come on. All right, whatever. So we're looking for, I need to see a little more right there. Okay, we are in pin 2, and pin 2 is the control side, power side, right, for the passenger. We have on that one, on the power, we got 13. If we go over to the driver's side, again, this should be pin 6, right? Pin 6. I'm moving right now to pin 6. We got nothing. Let me take a look at this because we are on the bias voltage. I'm going to do that on the bias voltage reading and then shorted this one. So yes, this is now power. So I think that we have a problem on the drawings or uh, I mean, I would think that this means ground and this means, signal or power, right? But it seems like it's not the case because I am 100% sure this is pin 6 and I am 100% sure this is pin 4. Let me just double check to make sure that I have nothing connected in between. No, that's perfect. So pin 6 is the one is showing me the bias voltage. Reading the information that I have here, that bias voltage should be, it says when inactive, the seating control module connects the heating element low side outputs to a common reference point internally to the module, which is biased to 3.5. You see the low side, not the high side. And if I see this, I would think that this is the low side, but it is not because I am seeing the bias voltage here. And if I command the switch on, I'm going to do it. If I command this switch on, it goes to power, which that's the way it should do it. So this, for me, that passenger, okay, sorry, the driver side heating element, profit is good. Now we're going to do the same thing now on the other one, which is pins 2 and 3, and I'm going to do the same thing. So with the same setup that we have, I'm going to disregard pin 3. I'm just going to go to pin 2. All right, so let me move this to pin 2, which in this case is the yellow, right? And I have nothing connected. I mean, I got these test lights, but they're unplugged both. So I'm just going to go here. It just makes it easy to connect the oscilloscope. What we have here, battery voltage. This should not have battery voltage. This should have a bias voltage of 3.5. Same thing we have on the other one. And if I go and I try to short this output, which is the same way that I did on the other one, I mean, the problem is this is already, oops, sorry. Well, at least it's protected because I have my power supply, and that's what I always you want to do tests like that. I touch something. This is why you have to be careful when you're doing all these tests with anything. Use a protected power supply. But I am pretty sure, guys, that I have that output bed. That profit is bed, and this is the one is causing all these gremlins. So what I want to do, let me. This is good information, and I want to share all this with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop now the video, and I'm going to move because looking at this this one and this one are not being used, and I'm gonna turn everything off. All right, so I'm gonna turn power off. You can see on the screen that I have now no power. I have my multimeter connected to the ground in here. Yes, you guys can see. So the ground lead on my multimeter is connected to there. I'm gonna go over to continuity. Let me just touch ground. I just want to make sure it's beeping. All right, you guys probably will be able to hear that. So I'm going to go, I don't need to be in ground, I need to be here. So just so to show you that this is in fact the one that I was touching. So this is the yellow one. Yellow one will be here, and there is no contact in here because it's not active. But you see, so that is that one. And then the other one will be 6, and 6 is this one in here. All right, so nothing here, nothing in any other ones. And what I also notice is, and now I will use my full multimeter, is that this one is probably it was just built to have an extra output because here goes to pin 1, and then this other one goes to pin 5. See? So these are not used, but there are pin 1 and 5 are not connected to anything, and they're the exact same part that I need for this to work. So I want to move, get rid of this one, and just put this one here and see what happens, and see if we get this solved, and that will take care of the problem. So let me stop the video. I'm going to stop the recording, and I'm going to do this. So all right, guys, follow up with what I've been doing. The module is fixed. It was not a profit. I'm going to be honest. As you can see here, I did remove the profit from here. So, and I even end up removing the other one just to try because I mean, I have two extra ones. Why not, right? I know there wasn't because I didn't see any changes. So what I end up doing is I use one of these tools. What I did with it, right here. So this is what they call Pomona. Uh, very small little hooks that you can attach to ICs, and then it will not short pin to pin because it's meant for this. It's meant for programming and other um, tasks that repair electronics use it for. So what I did is I use it on the green one. I know when the green one is, and I put an alligator here with a DuPont mill. That's what you will be using in here. Again, this is for programming, but you can use it for whatever you want, right? So I put the 1 lead of my multimeter with continuity, and I follow that signal. Okay, I need to know where is this going because I want to dissect this module, right? So going in there, I found, let me move this slide a little bit away because I think it's too bright. All right, so I went and I found out that I see this whole area here controls the one for the passenger side, and the one in here controls the one on the driver's side. So we got a knowing good and a knowing bad. And I noticed that we had the voltage, so it should be at 13 volts in there, bias voltage, as the information said that it should be with everything disconnected. You should be reading battery voltage, and I'm supplying 13 volts, so that's what it should read. And one was reading now, was reading like 7 point something, but before these resistors, it was at 13. And it was nothing wrong with the resistor. I measured they were right, they were fine. So I decided, you know what, let me resolder all this, clean it up, and guess what? That's it. Everything is now working as it should. And I'm going to demonstrate that so you guys can see that. Let me put the phone here. I got a screen recording going on, so you will be getting first look in there as well. Let me put this away so it's not on the way of what we're doing. All right, so what I will be doing is first switching the ignition and the power on. All right, so as you can see right now, we got ignition, power, and we got bias voltage on the green channel on, heater, pin 6. Let me bring the um, wiring diagram again. So let me just make this a little bigger so you guys can see it better. Perfect. So pin 6 is driver side, and pin 3, or sorry, pin 2 will be passenger side. So pin 6, driver side, right now is reading 3.6 bias voltage. That's what it should be reading if the computer is not commanded on. And if I command that on, remember, if we read the information, where is that other thing? I've been doing so much that I am getting a little tired, but that's fine. I'm actually looking for, all right, here, the green one. Blue with a blue, that's fine. All right, so this is a ground wire that I'm going to use now to turn that on, and you will see the effect, because this is the way this profit should work. If it's not being grounded, see, we have the information in pin 2. If I ground pin 2, this profit should switch on and will go to battery, because if we read the voltage right now, sorry, again, let me go there. If I go over to the tab right here, pin 3 and the back are the same. BBB, that's voltage supply, right? So we go supply voltage, right? So if we check that, the voltage supply right now on the back of this is 13 volts, which I know that because it's on. If I need to use this so I don't short anything now, that green wire on our screen now, the green reading here should go up to battery voltage as soon as I turn the switch on, which is, all these little profits are. So I'm going to do that. Actually, it's right here. And we got that 13 point something volts, right? Trying to do this all at once so to show you guys. We got battery voltage with no activation, we should get device voltage. This is like an unplug uh, hidden element. So, all right, I'm going to do the same thing on the other one. All right, so this is pin 6. I'm now going to go to pin 2, which is passenger side, right? Again, let me bring the wire diagram so we did this the correct way. Pin 2 is control for here, passenger side for both hidden elements. That's all we need in here. So we got the bias voltage, right? Because I'm a little higher in here. So 3.4 bias voltage. That's perfect because this before was 12 volts. And that's why the ignition was staying on. And I'm going to show you that in a second. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm now going to go over to the auto switch, the auto profit, right? Because that's all they are, switches. And I'm going to turn this on, and we got battery voltage. Off, should go over to exactly the same position. This is done. Done 100%. Now the next thing that I want to show, all right, so well, do you have the drain still or not? Okay, so looking at the blue channel right now is sitting into 13.2 something volts, right? If I turn the ignition off, that should go down to 0. And you know what, guys? It is doing it. It's doing it exactly as it should. Right now, the next step that I want to do, because remember, this wasn't working never like this. So no matter what, this is not going to change my results. I hope so. I want to make sure that I do the test now with the test lights connected. So we need to put yellow and green, and then blue and white. The battery is on. See, the battery is. You see, look at the red. Look at the red channel on the oscilloscope. This is still in 13 volts. And where's my blue ignition? There was before 13 and 0. It's right here. You see? Look at that blue channel right there. 0. I'm going to take all those lines so we can just see the channels. But then I want to put one on the blue, one on the green, uh, whatever, and then one on the red, just so we know where we are. And as soon as I turn the ignition on, because right now the heater is connected. That's why we're not reading that bias voltage because it's going in through there. But you know what? I don't care. Because remember, if you unplug it, that's what this is supposed to be reading. I am happy. This is fixed. So he's concerned the drawing, everything it should be working as it should. This is 100% fixed, guys. I am very happy. This is so feeling for me as a person and as a technician to be able to dissect something that is no information besides the data sheet I was able to find and correct the problem that we have here. Let me make this a little more personal so you guys can see me. I'm going to be talking to you. All right, things that I want to say that is I'm very happy. This is how you get experience. A lot of people is like, hey, how you learn to do all this? Well, I do my homework. I go over, look at the information of operation for this little module. I go online and try to look for a data sheet for at least a MOSFET and or profit and see how the actual system might be working out around and then go back until I find a problem. That's the way I do it. I cannot give thanks enough to Paul Danner. Scanner Danner, he's has teaches so much more than what he really thinks because a lot of people think that these are uh, modules and you cannot really work because you're just an automotive technician. Well, you know what? Outputs, inputs, they're all provided by modules. So if you're already checking that out there, you pretty much know at least the beginning of what the computer is doing. Yeah, you need to know more about, powers and grounds on this, but it's just a smaller version of what the vehicle does. Because, sensors, let's say a TPS, power, a ground, and a 5-volt reference, power, which is a 5-volt reference, a ground, and then the signal. That signal will go back to the computer. That 5-volt reference is coming to the computer, and sometimes, and most of the time, the sensor grounds are coming from the computer. So you already are working with the computer externally, but you are working with that. So it's just a matter of following in and look for data sheets and like that you can get familiar to work with this. But Paul teaching us of what a pull up switch is, a pull down switching output is, what is a sensor, what is the firewall reference. He has, at least to me, bring me out to a next level, something that I really needed it. Because there was not much information like that in Costa Rica for us. It's very hard here, especially I'm 50 years old, so I grew up with OBD1 even before OBD1, where there was no information. So we were building our own tools to try to check things without damaging, and sometimes damaging. I mean, it wasn't not much information. But then I learned about, using an LED light, using a bulb as a resistor, what Paul is teaching to all of us and to everywhere in the world, because YouTube is a very great tool if you really look for what you really want to learn. You want to just spend time looking into things that doesn't make you grow, but that's up to you. Me, myself, I like to be learning all the time. I just find that so intriguing, is so it makes me happy. It makes me feel useful, like that I can share that to other people, like Paul has done, and I don't know for how many years. So, Paul, thank you so much again for helping us all try to be the best we can. God bless you and God bless your family. I am very happy to be able to help you. I will be sending this module back to you as soon as possible, and then we can try it up and close this video together. Thank you again, guys, all for visiting the channel. I will see you next time. Bye bye.